Hey traders, Jason here from Lever Brothers. So in this video, I want to talk about what the market's possible worst case scenario is. This is not my worst case. This is a worst case scenario from somebody that I pulled off the internet. It seems like a lot of people are throwing their hat in the ring. Everyone's got a prediction. The S&P is going to drop to 3,500. It's going to drop to 3,000. It's going to drop to 2,500. Some of these are based on fundamentals. Some of these are based on technicals. Seems like lots of people have an opinion. Not sure why it's so important to have an opinion. But anyway, so of all the scenarios I've seen out there, what I'm going to show you is the worst one I've seen. So it's not mine. It's so don't shoot the messenger. It's just a worst case scenario. Now, it's not just a random worst case scenario. It is the worst case scenario put out there by Michael Burry. If you don't know, Michael Burry made a killing during the financial crisis. He predicted it. He saw it coming. He went short. He did a lot of things. He made a lot of money. And then he became relatively well known because he was a main character in Michael Lewis's book, The Big Short, which was then turned into a movie. So whether he's kind of drunk with his own success, like he predicted that one, so now he has the right to predict another one, whether that increases or decreases the odds that he can actually think straight and make another great prediction, I don't know what the odds of that are. But it's not just some random pie in the sky prediction from some random person. This is a prediction from a guy who actually made a lot of money in a previous big bear market. So a little bit, a couple months ago, he put out this tweet. It's kind of hard to decipher. He just talks about he talks about he compared different lows over the last 40 years, 50 years, and then he said if this if this pattern holds, the S&P is going to fall to about 1862. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tweet and I'm going to translate it into actual charts just so they're easier to read. So his logic is very sound, but whether it plays out or not, I have no idea. I'm just going to show you a few charts just to show you what he's thinking. All right, so here is the S&P 500 from the mid-60s up until the late 70s. He argues that the 1974 low over here was 10% lower than the 1970 low. Okay, that's an event that has happened in the past, and he uses that as a starting point. Then he moves forward. This chart is basically the 90s into the mid 2000s, and he says the .com bubble low in 2002 was 17% lower than the long-term capital management low that was in 1998. Then he moves forward and he says the financial crisis low in 2009 was 13% lower than the .com bubble low from 2002. And then he moves forward to today and he says if indeed this pattern or tendency repeats, that today's low, which will probably take place next year, if it's 15% lower than the COVID low, then that gives us a price target on the S&P of 1862. That is a really low number. Obviously, the market would be completely annihilated, and then what would happen socially in the country, I have no idea. I don't even want to imagine what would happen if the market dropped that much. But anyways, using the 1970s, using the .com bubble, using the financial crisis, he's assuming that the current bear market is not going to be just a normal bear market where the market drops 20 or 25% and then bounces. He's assuming this is going to be as bad as the other horrible bear markets that have played out over the last 50 years. And if that is true, and we have to take out the COVID low by 15% or so, that would put a low below or south of 2000. What are the odds that happens? I have no idea. I'm not going to throw my hat in that ring. I've been on record many times saying like we're definitely going down to the low 3000s, and I'll stick with that. Not willing to say that we're going to go south of $2,000. But anyways, so that's Michael Burry's prediction. And of all the predictions I've seen out there, this is the worst one or most horrific one that I've seen. So what do you think? You think that's realistic, or you think that's just completely nuts, and you think that he's completely drunk on his previous success? What do you think?